Welcome to the Light Tackle Angler Fishing Report. This is Captain David King, and I'm Captain John Fulweller. How are you?
Good, Jonathan.
Good.
How's your week?
Good. Well, where do you want to start the fishing report?
Well, this week, I thought I'd mention too, we're at the South Jetty Park in Fort Pierce. Great for these guys. North wind 25 to 30, gusting to 35 mile an hour. The windsurfers, you'll see in the background, are having a ball. If you look at the website after the fishing show, they'll have some more close-ups of these guys. They're jumping 25 and 30 feet into the air, which is like awesome. So kind of a nice background today. Maybe we'll start to the north today, and maybe we'll let you start inshore this week.
Sebastian, we're going to start with. Captain Terry Lamiel, he said the fishing has been really good. He's been catching a lot of pompano, up to 40 to 50 pompano a day with his charters. And he said he found this Dock's Goofy jig. He said it was either pink or yellow. He said they were only hitting one color that day, so you had to switch them out to see which was the best. He also said the sheep's head have been really good around the fall downs, around the docks. He likes just using a little piece of bait on it because sheep's head are notorious. They bite the stuff and they wind up biting until they get to the hook. So he likes just using a little piece. He said the trout fishing has been really good, but again, wait till the afternoon because it's been so cold at night. So you gotta wait for them to the flats to warm up just a little bit. And freshwater. He said he fishes freshwater too at this time of year. He said the specks are really starting to go off with this this cold weather, and he said the bass, he's been catching a lot of bass, but they haven't bedded yet. He said the next full moon they should be on their beds and really easy to catch. All right, that's inshore. Now how about offshore?
Okay, offshore, we've had some good reports. Captain Mike Mayer, I spoke with him. He had done an inlet trip, did some fishing for snook, did good. The flounder action has slowed down a little bit. They've been doing pretty good on those big flounder in the inlet. Finger mullet, of course, were the hot bait. Finger mullet have moved south a lot right now. They're a little bit harder to get. So he had also traveled offshore and done pretty good. Not quite as good as in the past weeks. The red snapper were there, but there was a lot of the 18, 19, 20 inch, a lot of the throwbacks, which is that some weeks you have the keepers, some weeks you don't. But he had some fish in the 22 to 25 inch range too. So there was some good fishing. He also had some cookie cutter grouper, which is that 12 to 14 pound fish that we catch a lot of that don't break you off like the big ones. So it was good to hear. A few cobia coming in. Also, there had been some sailfish activity off Sebastian too. And the 200 to 300 foot range, kind of like down south, that west wind has pushed that edge out a little bit. A lot of the boats out Fort Pierce have been running to Sebastian. So Sebastian has been getting that the 500 or 600 line. They've been catching a lot of sailfish with some mixed in dolphin fishing. A lot of those guys have been using those split tail mullet because that's been a real good bait for the sailfish. So the dolphin they're getting have been in this 15 to 20 pound range. So there's been some nice fishing down there. So on the reef we had good action. There was bait at the buoy up to the full moon. Then we had a little bit of swells from the wind and the bait is left again, but we had big pods of sardines moving in, so that's good to know that out of Sebastian. So on the bar there was kingfish, bottomfish, offshore, good fishing. So we had a good report out of Sebastian this week.
Great. The fishing center in Vero, I called them today to get a report, and they were saying how good the sheep's head off. This is in Vero. Any pylon you go to, it seems, had good fish on it. So that's good. They're really starting to push down, and again you use a little piece of shrimp and that's been working the best. They also were talking about the trout, but they moved out to 4 or 5 feet off of the flats, and they didn't specify what kind of bait. But he said the fishing has been really good. He talked about the surf fishing, and he said you don't have to cast way out there on the surf. It was just in the first trough. He got lots of bluefish, a few pompano, and some black drum. And that's about it off of Vero. So I guess you need to go offshore of Fort Pierce.
Actually, we'll come down to Fort Pierce. We had some great activity. A friend of mine, Captain Emil Laviola, did a couple of night trips this week leading into that big full moon we had, towards the beginning of the week. There was great action. There was limits of snapper almost every night out. There was, excuse me. There was great mangrove fishing, mutton snappers, red snappers, lanes, yellowtail, and vermilion. So you really caught 6 types of snappers on one trip. The muttons were running up to about 5 to 7 pounds. The same with the mangroves, 3 to 6 pounds. No real big fish, but not many throwbacks. So we're having an Great run of muttons this year, way better than the past years.
Way better, right.
So that's good to see. So we've got excellent snapper fishing. There were some grouper caught, some amberjack as they went into the deeper water. Not big numbers, but they were starting to mark schools of amberjack. So that's a good sign. We're getting into our winter, early spring push when those amberjacks start coming down. So when you see that, the big grouper should be right behind. Also, the sailfish activity, the Pink Lady tournament was this week. They did real good. Some of the boats caught upwards of 10 fish.
Wow.
Linda Godfrey was on one of the boats, and I think they caught 5. They had second place. They caught 5 sailfish, split-tail mullet, ballyhoo. So once again, we're still getting great sailfishing off of Fort Pierce. They also picked up a few dolphin each boat, which once again, they were the gaffer size because of the split-tail mullet. So you got kingfish on the bar. The kingfish boats have been in. You'll see the live bait boats around them. So there's been good action. You've got action for the kingfish, dolphin, bottom fishing. Up until this wind, there's been great fishing. So next week ought to be excellent. We've got a great pattern of fishing going on. We didn't hear much about the cobias, but once again, there's probably a push going to the south. Maybe this next wave usually comes sometime in February,
right.
So cobia might be right around the corner. If you see a manta ray, let me know. I'll be right out there. Inshore.
Inshore. The trout fishing has really gotten good. 3 foot seems to be about the key. They might slide just outside, 4 foot on the with this cold front. The pompano are really hit and miss here. It seems like they're either south of us or north of us. Around the docks, again, the Sheep's Head, and there are some reds around the docks. That's what's really been holding the fish, is the docks. The tides with that last full moon were probably 1.5 foot less, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, they were way
They
down.
were really low. So a lot of the fish pushed out on the flats. So you might want to fish maybe not right on the dock, maybe just come right outside of the dock and fish around there. So do you have any more to add, David?
Well, it was a great fishing week.
Yes,
We've got this wind kicking up now, 25, 30 mile an hour out of the north. But we should have excellent fishing. I mean, you'll be about a week behind the moon, which that's usually another great fishing period. So I would say this week we're going to have great fishing reports. We should get reports from everybody. Plus, if you guys have any fishing reports, make sure to give me a call on my cell phone. It's 979-6068, area code 772. Captain David King, leave me a report. Tell me about your fishing reports. If you've had any special catch, please give us some details, because we'd like to include you in next week's fishing report. We'll mention your name and about what you caught. So please give us a call with one of your great fishing reports. Thanks again.
Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the Light Tackle Angler Fishing Report, and we'll see you again next week.